It's a beautiful Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have my co-host here. Hi, ladies.
Hi, Mariah.
Nima in the building.
Yo, yo, yo.
Same group yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, back to back. How you guys doing?
Amazing.
Nima, what's up?
I didn't want to talk this morning, but I got picked on by some group of young security men.
Why?
They don't understand that I drive an American model, that the lights are on all hours, 24 hours. So when I drive and get to them at 6 a.m. in the morning, I'm supposed to drive and put off my lights because I stopped to drop my son there. They pick on me. And this morning, they made a huge issue. I just refused to say anything.
Sister, it's not only American model. All new models of cars.
Also
the lights are on throughout 24 hours.
Because yes, they said I'm putting on my lights in their face. And they're supposed to be serving me, the security at the gate. So I'm looking at talking to the, what do you call them, community, our leaders who employ these new guys who think that they can pick on anybody. And
What's give an average?
the annoying thing is that this morning I refused to say a word. So after I left, they now, took the fight to my son's caregiver and her family, and
Imagine that. That's
it was
just
very
terrible.
annoying.
I can imagine.
But when that's how it happens in Nigeria. When I now decide to do something about it, or maybe call an authority into it, it will seem like this woman we're neighbors soon.
Yeah.
Wait,
like
it is dangerous for a woman to live in Nigeria. I'm telling you honestly.
You get picked on by everybody.
Everyone.
My husband's car is the same light,
But he
but
hasn't
no,
been picked
he has
on
not
ever.
been. They've not had issues with him,
How
and
you
he
doing?
also stops there to drop the baby.
How you doing, Mariam?
I'm fine. I'm doing good. It was my birthday yesterday. My husband took me out, or we tried to go out.
Why trend?
We went out for a movie, but ended up not doing a movie. And then I got bumped into, the bus bumped into the back of my car at the toll gate.
Hey, Obika.
And he came down and was just looking like, oh, like, this happened to me. I did not know what happened. And
When
we
somebody
left.
hits me on the back, I just drive off. I don't even bother getting down. I don't bother getting down because I can't be
in
rejoining.
the daylight. When it's dark,
I just
leave
can't rejoin.
anyway.
If the cost of the lights on your car.
I'll go and pay for it. Please. I can't be stressed
I have
out.
It's
tried
why you
it
get the
before.
payments
This
anyway.
time was on 3rd Milan Bridge on high speed though. Somebody bumped into me. You can imagine the speed at which the man was going. I was just very grateful that I was alive. I just drove off.
Yes,
well,
now.
after spending 17,000 on that
Can imagine.
bumper, just on that bump, if you bump into me from behind,
Next time.
Lagos governor will hear of it.
Actually, something happened with somebody, I can't remember what happened. Either they hit me or I hit them, and it was really not a big deal. Okay, I think I scratched the guy a bit. It was just a scratch, like me, a tiny scratch.
He came out.
He wanted to come down, start discussing. I'm like, listen, we're on Herbert Macaulay. It's traffic, it's great luck. I'm not going to come down. You know what? Sorry about what happened. And I was driving off. No, he's chasing me, and I'm like, listen, man.
If I block you,
You won't start
you will come down
dramatizing a tiny scratch. Like, let's park to the other. No, you must not move. No, move this car. I'm like,
But you have to come down and say sorry now.
imagine.
Yeah, priding.
No, like,
I'm amazing. And we all have a touch of yellow.
Yes, and you look really lovely today.
That's mustard you're wearing on yellow, Sha. But we shall all have a touch
how
of
did
yellow.
I know you're going to
She
mention
will,
this
she
thing?
will.
Okay, terrible like
But I
that.
like your earrings and your dress. It matches really nice.
She aims to please.
How are you doing?
We aim to please.
I know that was.
How are you doing, Jumoke?
I have already answered now. How am I doing? Amazing and grateful. That's all.
Okay.
Mariah, how are you doing?
Just calm down.
Okay, I will calm down.
It's just Tuesday. Never reach.
Feels like Friday.
Now stay in the post. She doesn't share anything again.
Oh, wow. Okay. Today is a fantastic day. We have an interesting guest. Hopefully he makes it to the studio because we've been chasing this guest since January. And he's been doing us left, right, and center. But hopefully he shows up. But let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll review the papers and then invite our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Right, we're going to start with the punch. PDP, SDP, RAPC, 36 others form alliance against Buhari.
I'm confused.
Picture here, NLC shuts MTN offices to picket other telecom firms. Power distribution firms owe NBET 859 billion naira. Play 2. Clark, Falaye, Adebanjo meets Danjuma. My daughter was used for ritual, says Ondo ex-deputy governor. Adeosho applied for exemption, alleged forged certificate on the probe. Okay, so this young girl that was allegedly used for, who has that story?
Yes, so the Ondo, former Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Oluboyo's daughter that we took the story yesterday. So further investigations led to finding out that she was actually buried in a shallow grave in the room of the so-called boyfriend that, you know, killed and mutilated her body. And, you know, the room is, it wasn't under his bed. He doesn't have a bed. He has a mattress. So he dug a grave, covered it with a carpet and put his mattress there. The pictures are in the papers. Very gory
How
story.
did his brother find out? Was she stinking?
He confessed to his sister. He told the dad, and the dad then called the family of the girl that, because the father was called the family when they were searching for this girl. I saw your daughter last in my house some weeks back, but I've not seen her since then. So assuming that she had left, but he didn't know she was buried in this room. But once the son confessed, the father of the boy also called the father of the girl again and, you know, reported this story. So
we don't even know why he did that, because
no, you know, there's something they call what they call that there, Yahoo Plus kind of thing. You know, that was what the father is alleging. You know, young boys trying to make money. That
is a ritual.
He did it in his home with his parents and everybody living there.
You must have heard this sound, but how do you dig a grave in the house where
that'll be noticed, or with nobody knowing? So that's another issue. Okay, let's move on to The Nation.
May she rest well.
It's really sad. At the end of the day, it all goes back to frustration, right? The Nation, 2019, PDP 38 others form coalition against Buhari, giving APC a piece of their own land acquisition, deaf, dumb protest in Ibadan. Ondo ex-deputy governor's daughter murder, suspect held. And Beninoa police detained 50 Nigerians. I read this story about the land acquisition, the deaf, dumb protesting, but they're saying that they actually acquired 39 acres of land. And for some reason, the state government is allegedly encroaching on their space, meaning that it's giving out to land, he's selling it out, it's about 20 acres taken out of 39, and that they need their 39 acres, even more than that, because they had planned to build a university, a specialized university for the deaf and dumb. So he shouldn't encroach on their space and take their land.
The state government.
Ordinarily, it's the governor who gives you consent for land.
Yes.
So,
according to them, they purchased the land, and
their papers, was the paper properly perfected?
We don't have all the details, but they are saying that people donated money for that land. They acquired that land for their university, and it's unfair for the state government to just take it without permission. So I think the commissioner responded, said that he will talk to the governor, and they will be in touch with you.
I'd like a journalist to do this properly, because when you have a land that you've perfected, the governor or whoever cannot come into that property except by exception. There are certain exceptions with which it comes in, and you must get full and adequate compensation for that.
So maybe it wasn't complete.
So,
the paperwork wasn't complete. Let's talk about the Beninoa police.
Yes, I got that. So about 50 Nigerian students are being held in Benin Republic, and for no charges have been brought against them. Some of them have been tried and jailed without their family's consent. They said they just look through their phones, and if they have anything like a white man picture or some Google code, they lock them up. So they're asking, parents of these students are asking Ms. Abike Dabiri to look into it. So
wow. Okay. All right, moving on now to Daily Sun. What's happening here? PDP, RAPC team up against Buhari. Strike deal with the SDP, ADC, LP, 34 other parties for 2019 elections to field consensus candidates. Does this include all what's it called? People, Showore and Peladrote?
No.
These are minus ones.
Okay. Kowa is not part of it?
Old school.
Okay.
Same of the same.
Same of the same, okay. Enugu Catholic priest kidnapped. FG bans tankers, trailers with no safety measures. Killings, Southern Middle Belt leaders seek Danjuma's help. NYSC will probe Adeosho's exemption certificate. Adamu Shiruma, man of character, says Mamandaura.
Let me just quickly mention that the NYSC has come out to say that Adeosho actually did apply for an exemption certificate in 2009, and that they're going to probe the falsification of the certificate as is being alleged.
Okay, let's talk about this together.
Catholic?
Okay, let's talk about the federal government bans tankers with no safety measures.
So,
who has that?
there's a new one. So yesterday there was a meeting among all agencies, Federal Safety, Lagos State, and all affected agencies at Apapa. And Lagos is alleging that the MPA is complicit in the arrangement because, you know, the tankers come in and the containers come out of MPA without proper checks. But the federal government has banned all tankers and containers that do not meet proper safety standards.
Minimal safety standards.
Flying our way. So hopefully,
what does that mean? Isn't there already?
They should not be allowed out.
So now that they've done that, the Lagos State government cannot be empowered.
Yes,
because what Lasema was saying, that they're not getting enough cooperation sometimes from the government. The government's power is limited. The governor's power is limited.
States.
But now that the federal government has spoken, hopefully that should.
It's easier for them not to be allowed out than to apprehend them on the road. So let's just ensure that is effective.
Yes.
But even when apprehended on the road, for instance, you have a leaking tanker, you can then hold that tanker down. You force the owner of the tanker to offload into a proper one and arrest that one.
Okay.
So
When are we talking about this coalition? Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. We're not really interested.
Are you interested?
Actually, I'm not interested. PDP, RAPC, ADC, 36 others parties signed MOU to oust APC. A picture here of Atiku, David Mark, and a whole bunch of other people here shaking hands and all that. Doing
And
the MOU signing.
agenda is to take out the incumbent.
It's not about ideology.
Adebola applied for exemption certificate. Firm's confidence in economy grows to 64.9 points, says CBN. FG laments disclosed 500 billion indebtedness to NBET. New kings suspend Olubadan's local government salary. Yes, so they are flexing their muscles.
Okay.
Customs intercepts truckload of 200,000 rounds of ammunition. And APC backs use of soldiers, others for governorship poll. Yes.
So the new kings, the story, so the Olubadan is alleging that the new chiefs converted to kings are the ones who stopped the salary, and they are also alleging we do not pay him salary, and we could not have stopped his salary.
Are they the state governors?
What I read was that the new kings are saying that they are the ones that stopped his salary.
They are saying they did not.
The story I read, okay, maybe we had to.
They are not the ones who pay.
What I read, maybe I read wrongly. What I read and understood was they're saying it's not the government that stopped your money. It is us. It is us.
They lack such power.
So that's what I thought. So what I read, anyway, we'll read it again. I just be sure. But the other story I read was the 200,000 ammunition that was found in the trucks
along
going to
Onitsha, Kwara Road,
heading to Onitsha.
Yes, so
they find, interestingly, the owner of the truck on the ammunition was actually also in the truck. So it was coming in from Beninoa. From Benin.
His name is Martin Anokwara. He's the owner of the truck. He employed a Cotonou, a Beninoa guy, Bukari Dauda, to drive that truck from Benin Republic to Nigeria. That's 200,000 live ammunition that was on the truck.
What does he do ordinarily?
I don't really know. But the story only said, you know, they were heading that way with ammunition. And the truck was disguised in a way with empty gallons, carrying empty gallons like they deal in vegetable oil, that kind of thing. So people will think it's a fireworker. You see what we see? I'm going to go there now.
Just in addition to that,
the
police, yes, go ahead.
Our land borders, over 1,000 land borders are what's it called? For us.
I was saying that the officials actually suspected, and they actually unscrewed some boats
because
underneath.
They noticed that the bottom of the truck had nuts. So that was where they suspected.
Yeah.
Usually they won't even go for that checking once they see.
We should give them, we should applaud them.
We should. We should. Morayo, but how many 200,000 ammunition must have escaped?
Right.
Because we have porous
How
borders.
many have we also stopped? Over 2,000 with the customs bus. You remember, every time 1,000 today, 900 tomorrow.
Men that have come into their community. We need to check our borders.
Let's move on quickly to the Nigerian Tribune, 2019. PDP, RAPC, 37 others form. Oh, I didn't realize they have a name now. CUPP to oust Buhari. What's it called? Cup, right. CUPP, right.
With the P stress.
Okay, so the point is that it's important that people should understand that, listen, these guys are like the old, right? But there's a new league of young people. We have the Soares.
We have Feladrote. We have Kingsley Morgan.
There's this lady.
We have Ahmed Buhari.
There's this lady now, Elisha something.
We need to talk empty.
Please, let us.
Them on their
sorry, I just wanted to quickly mention that.
Differentiate, so they know that
they are different.
They're different.
The autumn governor of Benue State is also planning to leave the APC. There's a story that you didn't mention there where the southern and middle belt leaders went to go and meet Danjuma in his Abuja home, asking him as an elder statesman to talk about the killings that are, to just advise them about the killings happening around, that all of them have said, we don't want ranches, we don't want colonies, but how do they stop this bloodlet? Particularly because they believe that he has the heirs of the presidency. Amongst these middle belt and southern leaders are Olufalaye, they were led by Edwin Clark, Ayo Adebanjo, and several other leaders. Suspects. Yeah.
Right.
I wanted to talk about MTN, but I would love NLC to start the work they started with MTN, whose staff are well paid, with the number 1,000 factories along Amodofi, Alimosho, whose FDI are Chinese, Koreans, abusing your citizens with 8,000 naira slavery arrangements. Casualization of workers is everywhere. Start from the ones you can control, so that MTN will just fall in line. Their workers are well
because it seems their motive is quite suspect.
Yes.
Let's just go on a break. When we come back, I'm told our guest has lost his way, so we'll just find a topic to discuss about. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Is he a foreigner?
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Unfortunately, our guest is yet to be here, so we're just going to talk about this hottest gist in town, this COP party. They say it's Coalition of United Political Parties. That's the SDP, the PDP, RAPC, and ADC, amongst others, and 36 others who form this coalition. Now, Twitter is going crazy because it's a trending thing on Twitter right now. Everybody's giving their various comments on this. What are your thoughts on this? Is this new coalition strong enough to give APC the jitters? Is it strong enough to take over the party, over the ruling party? We don't know. Let's hear your views. What are you guys thinking concerning this? I mean, like, everybody's happy that they're doing exactly what APC did, right? Yeah. Which is great. But is it strong enough? Is it what we need right now to bring down the coalition?
There's a tweet that says that is the APC going to ignore this coalition because they're strong? The PDP and the reformed APC, so they're even taking some parts of the APC away, plus 32 others. They have the SDC, they said PDM and ABGA have not joined. Okay, you know.
Do you know if COA has joined? Do you know if COA is part of it?
COA on the list.
Excuse me.
I think Vanguard had the list.
Excuse me. We are COA. We don't COP.
But these gentlemen have not really given told us their political parties here. The new guys, the new kids on the block.
Mogalu hasn't told us. Even Donald Duke is running.
Yes, we don't know.
Showore is the new party. I think.
The one with Obasanjo.
ANP, I think. All new people, something. Then Fela Durotoye, we don't know which party. They haven't mentioned their parties.
This one that Obasanjo actually showed up at this PDP event is showing a lot of maybe that this coalition might actually.
You know what is a little sad? What's a little sad for Obasanjo is that right now, after a while, people will stop listening to him. One day you're picking a card here, and the next day you're tearing it. One day you're.
I have a question for you, though.
Okay.
If you wanted to vote, what would you be looking out for in a party?
Unfortunately, I do not vote according to party lines. Right. I vote for people and what they have done. So that's how I vote. So you look for I would never be the person that would just vote APC.
I think that's what we're trying to get away from, because now, yes, it worked for APC in 2015, right? Now, is it going to work again in 2019? Because we're saying, listen, you've put together this coalition. How strong they are, how forceful they are, we don't know.
36 parties.
Can I quickly say that? Yes, where people vote for ideologies and personalities.
Not in Nigeria.
Where, thank God you just took it out of my mouth, where a large number of people are well informed about what governance is about. Unfortunately, as much as we do Your View every day, I still walk into people who have no idea, no inkling whatsoever about how these things should go. So it is about, for them, it's largely about two parties that are very strong. This one that will bring the contracts, the one that will divert mosquito nets and share in constituency. Those are the things that people vote for.
I buttress on Alaja's point by saying that there's still people who believe that I wasted my vote. Meaning, because the party will not win, they will not vote for that party. So they only see, oh, there are two strong parties. I cannot waste my vote. And I'm looking at them, what's the meaning of waste your votes?
So I looked at the France
when
elections.
you vote for somebody that you believe in, that's not a waste, regardless of even if they lose the election.
Let me just explain how wasting votes can turn out to be a good thing. So France elections, the leftists, all of them just gathered and decided, okay, this young guy, vote him. Before you knew it,
Macron
emerged,
39-year-olds,
you know, their age. It's possible that it happens here if we just had the information across board.
No, okay,
unfortunately, most of us are informed, some of us
online.
are not.
Let's get people's reaction on this cup.
This DJ cup
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Am I allowed
this is the year of
to read this one?
Yeah.
Cup of sorrow. Thieves, association of men whose belly is their god. Please, the guy's name is thank God Fatoyimbo. Let me just call it out. We have some very funny tweets. Breaking news: Nigerian political parties announce formation of coalition of United People's political parties. This follows the signing of an MOU among the main opposition PDP, the breakaway faction of the APC, and 32 other parties. Olua Sheon Akiola says, COP, a coalition put together to wrestle power from APC. Official PDP, SDP, ADC, and RAPC, and over 30 parties.
Let me pause you for a second, because when a party's objective is simply to wrestle power, nobody comes with any serious direction or ideology. So, you know, this is what we're trying to do. Actually, in fairness to them, I saw on papers today that they're pushing for restructuring. They're saying they're using the words we want to hear, the devolution of powers. Those are the phrases that people want. So they're using those buzzwords that people would want to think twice about. But
are we deceived?
We know exactly
is it
why.
Deception?
It is.
Can you categorically state that it's deception?
Yes, because
listen, why I would say I may think it is deception. Why? Because these are the same politicians that we've had for so long.
So we're hungry for
new.
So we're hungry for the new.
We are hungry for new.
You know what? Saying on Twitter that I think the coalition is all about PDP, who wants to use and ride on other parties and groups to baptize themselves into relevance.
Okay, let me take Yakub, then I'll come to Mariam. Yakub, are you there?
Yeah,
good morning. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I think Kowa is among of the party as well. So, you see, especially, let me just talk about the RAPC that match.
Right.
Before now, the NPDP are saying that APC marginalized them. What are they talking about marginalization is that they don't get what belongs to them, but they get the Senate president, they get speakers of representatives, they get so many people in the party. But I can tell you, yes, they are going to give APC run for their money. Right. But Morayo, I can tell you, they are not going to succeed. You know why? Why? As time goes on, you see, Atiku is there, Tambua is coming, if case may be. And then there's some other people, Kwankwaso is there, Lamido is there. All of them, they are looking to fight for that presidency. Okay. I can tell you, when they go to that primary, by the time those of them, they don't get what they are looking for there, they will likely break away again. Right. And then what are they telling us? They are telling us they want to restructure it. I can tell you, Jumoke, these people, they are trying to play with our intelligence.
Right. Fantastic. I think Yakubu has hit the nail on the head. So yes, you brought the coalition together, but it might be difficult to get a consensus candidate. Let's go on a break. Our guest is here. Let's get him to join the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us on the show is a young Nigerian media entrepreneur, journalist, political activist, motivational speaker. He's the co-founder of Red Media and is popularly known as the man. He and his team installed 3 presidents in Africa. And he and his colleague, Chudi, with their team, packaged President Buhari, former General Buhari, now President Buhari for us, and made all of us vote for him. Welcome with us, Adebola Williams, to the show. You can call us on 070-806-6801. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Before you ask who you're packaging for us for 2019, in your view, this new coalition, what does it mean to you? Especially in view of the fact that there are a lot of other candidates, young people, new faces coming into the system. Do you think this coalition is strong enough to make a statement?
To wrest power.
Yes, to wrest power.
Good morning, and thanks for having me. And thank you all for also, doing the Buhari campaign. I remember our calls, how you were encouraging me to keep going on, the faith you showed me, and how you were, part of the team, as supporters. So we are all here together, I have your DMs. So if you deny it, I can show you the pictures.
I was supporting you as an individual.
The truth is not coming out. The truth is coming out now, you see?
No! Debola, as a young man, I just said...
The truth is not coming out.
Now I have to question that one vote. Okay.
But, I think that the coalition has just shown the people that, there is indeed an opportunity for a third force.
True, very true.
It has shown that if people continue to move, 1 minute, this is the place to be, this is the reform place, the next minute, this is the next reform place. Maybe nothing totally wrong with that, except that the people who are moving have not demonstrated anything otherwise.
Right. Very true.
The people who are moving have not resigned to go on some sort of sabbatical, to pay some kind of sacrifice.
Right.
They've not taken their bloated salaries to donate to build a hospital. They've not done anything innovative that gives them the credibility to say that they are reformed, not by their words, but by their actions. And so if, for example, the people who are forming any kind of new party have at some point in time, a coalition, have some point in time made some huge sacrifice that showed their humanity and showed their commitment to good governance, has shown them that they have character. Then indeed, they have the moral compass to look to another group and say that, they are reformed or they are better. So right now, the people need to realize that it is the same of the same. Right. The packaging just keeps changing.
All right, point taken,
so the problem of Nigeria is largely leadership. And you are in the business of, PR, media, and all that, packaging and putting together. How do you spot, that's my first question, a credible leader that, you don't have to eat your words at the end of his tenure? That's one. Number two, do you have, at any point in time, this clash of interest, conscience-wise now, conflict of interest when it comes to the personalities that you project as, leaders in every of the countries that you've had one leader or the other that is handled by your media team, they emerge winners. So how do you spot one, and do you ever have that conflict of
May I help that question?
Yes.
In Ghana and Nigeria, the campaigns were very similar. Change. Did you really believe that these individuals were change agents? Or you were just doing your job of packaging them?
Yes.
I did.
You believed in them?
I did.
Okay.
Do you still,
I did.
Do you still believe in them?
And I say that the circumstances may look almost the same, but they also have their peculiarities. And on the Nigerian side, the dream that I was sold was this is not a one-man government. This is a government with a man who had character, and then a man who had a competent team. And so the idea was to have someone with the moral compass to deal with corruption, which was what belabored the last government, which was their albatross. While you had this team of young people, Prof, Governor Fashola, etc., Governor Faimi and co, who then will focus on the economy, as well as all the people they had in transition committee, Mrs. Bola Deshola, Mr. Yemi Edu. They had like many brains, Bismarck Wewani, many of the greats, of the brights in those committees. And the idea was those people would then be the economic team. But it hasn't played out that way.
Right.
Well, on the contrary, in Ghana, this was a president who picked his cabinet in his kitchen cabinet in about 6 weeks, or was it in about 3 weeks or so. Whereas in Nigeria, I think it took us about maybe like 6 months. this was a president who picked his ministerial cabinet in about maybe less than 2 months. Right. In Nigeria, I think it took us about 8 months.
Do you have any regrets?
You know, so
because Chude has been on this couch 3 times, and if you see him on Twitter now,
so he's now a resident presenter. Adjunct presenter.
If you see Chude on Twitter now, he's now opposing the president in some ways and supporting people like Obi Ezekwesili. So do you have any regrets? Like the dream you were sold, do you think it was a lie or it was just over packaging?
So I think that the human element, you know, took over, and people suddenly got into office and realized that, hey, you know, I need to be, you know, if I let this go, I'm probably not having all the executive powers as I have. And just a quick correction, Chude is not supporting Dr. Obi Ezekwesili. She's our mentor. You know, she's someone that, come rain, come shine, we will always answer to. She holds a moral compass that we subject ourselves to. You know, she can be very hard, very strict. She will scold you. She will do all of those things. And we continue to stay close to her because that's the kind of person we want to be, we aspire to be. So on that journey, you know, so it's not, we are always, you know, I mean, the Red Card movement, all of those things, we're always supporting, you know, the things she does. And she was one of the very first people who also invested in our work. So in terms of, you know, where we are as a nation, I think that we've had, you know, a president who has missed the biggest opportunities that he had. I hadn't seen a president who had as much goodwill as the current president. You know, he had so much good. I mean, I was with him for 7 months. I saw the way governors and everyone related with him. And I think that, you know, everyone would do anything. You know how President Obasanjo had challenges getting some governors to do things. He had issues with Governor Tinubu and co. Yeah. President Muhammadu Buhari actually had goodwill. He has the kind of goodwill that if he tells the 36 governors, this is what we're doing, they will all do it. You know, and I thought that that was an opportunity that just wasn't used.
Okay, Adebola, I feel that a country deserves the government that they get. And especially now with the work that you did with our present government, it just seems that it's still the same thing all over again. Even with your expertise and everything that you did, we still ended up being in the same place. So what is it that about do you think the youth have, do you think that the youth should be involved in a different way? And this is not just about PVCs, you know, just get a PVC and vote, but in what way would you like to see youths more involved in politics and that would change
in addition to that, are we also very organized enough to even help change this government?
Yes.
Okay, so let me answer that. I think what happened with the last cycle was we failed to look for the 3 C's.
Which is?
Competence, capacity, and character.
Kingsley Mogalu.
We focused more on probably 2. Or maybe,
integrity.
You know, it was his character. You know, so a key lesson that we've all learned in the next cycle is that we must look for the 3 C's. Competence, capacity, and character. You know, do not depend, you know, on just 1 or 2 of those indices. That's on one hand. On the other hand, for young people, like I always say, it's not enough to be young. It's enough when you have the 3 C's. So wherever you find yourself on the divide, as far as you're able to envision, give a roadmap, you know, and show how to get there, you know, and you have the competence and the capacity to be able to pull all the resources.
Which I think is what you're doing now, because if young people are going to look up to you, you are definitely building capacity because people know you, you're getting that network of people. So competence you're growing. So people can
by bringing donuts to every set.
So that's a fantastic point.
Young people knowing me, even beyond networks and relationships, I think what's also important is, I mean, the last cycles of elections have shown me that we also need to pay attention to people who have learned how to lead.
Right.
So when we're choosing our leaders, you must check their CV.
Good.
You know, what have they built?
Okay, so Adebola, you do have a good CV.
Yeah. Well, so sorry. What have they built? What have they created? Or where have they gone to learn on leadership? There is a reason why there are schools on leadership. You know, you asked about young people. I speak in several places, and in the month of May, I spoke in quite a number of conferences. And anywhere I spoke on leadership, I asked them about the 7 characteristics of leadership: capacity, competence, charisma, character, 7 of them. And I asked the people to score themselves. And when the results come out, some get fair, some get asked to repeat, some get asked to withdraw. So I say to you, if the people are getting asked to repeat, asked to withdraw, you know, fair enough. Where do leaders come from?
From inside the
Same people.
Which means that if we cannot score excellence amongst ourselves, we
do
cannot
we
produce
expect
excellence.
exactly?
And that is why, for us to now find a few of us who are excellent, you need to see their CV, that they've even gone to a school to learn on leadership.
Right.
Or they have built systems and processes and institutions.
We have to go on a
that
quick
have shown
break.
that.
When we come back, I want to direct this question to exactly where we're heading in 2019. Let's hit this nail on the head. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, as we enter 2019, Adebola, in your view as a young Nigerian, who, in your own view, do you feel is the appropriate leader? Do we have one now?
With the 3 C's.
But I have the 3 C's that would you suggest? Because since you're a package Buhari for us, we're all ears. We're all ears.
Or are you repackaging
Who are you
him?
packaging, or who would you like to package for us?
You know what's interesting? You know, when you keep saying packaging, it's not packaging first, it's image management and public relations.
Is the same
Let's call it the right.
Please answer the question.
But you see, the work myself and Chidi have done in the last 13 years is first to actually build a critical mass of young people who are empowered and can make the right decisions. We have not at any point in time tried to force our opinions or our work on anyone. We've actually committed. I mean, we found that enough is enough before we resigned to go into this. You know, we've been part of several advocacy platforms. Today is vocal, you know. I'm moderate as a person, generally with my, you know, with my criticisms. And so we're very much about people questioning, you know, and asking and making their own enlightened choices.
Very important.
You know, and so that's first our life mission, you know, before we present anyone to anybody. So it's not dependent on us. It's to say that if we find the value and we share it and you buy into the argument and you buy into what we're proposing and you vote, but it's an enlightened decision that you make by yourself.
Well, let me
So
help
for
your
2019,
argument.
yes, ma'am.
You only package one person. Our focus now is just on the president. This is a democracy, and the leaders are across houses of assemblies and the national assemblies, and these people influence every decision the president makes eventually. So it's not about one person.
Exactly.
But the head is very important, Sha.
That's why I kept saying, how do we spot a leader? Because even yesterday, I was having a discussion with someone trying to run for the House of Assembly in Lagos State on another party platform, and he was saying, you know, I want to come on your view. A lot of things like that, all the time we meet people. How do we spot one? So everybody in your local government, for instance, you're looking at your ward councillors, you're looking at your houses of assembly members. They come around now, they will try to come and do all hospital runs and all that, give you one thing or the other. How do you know?
The 3 C's is how you know. The 3 C's is how you know.
And I think that citizens need to take a bit more responsibility for the outcomes of governance. Citizens need to take a bit more responsibility in what they do as in their office of the citizen, which is the highest office of the land. Citizens have refused to own that office. This is why I see Nigeria or any nation. You have resources. You have handed these resources to a group of people to provide you governance via that resources. If they do not do their job, you demand of those you have contracted. The way you would demand of a contractor you ask to build you a house. If you do not see the sign.
But sometimes people need leadership. Unfortunately, where we are right now, we need direction. Unfortunately, the young people out there, yes, we'll take ownership, but you give us somebody. Tell us somebody. Rally us around somebody. You'll be surprised.
There are several people.
What I find is that the country that we live in, a lot of things already makes the young person not confident in what they can do or what they can ask for. We have a huge number of people who have not been to school, so they do not even recognize what their rights are. They do not know what their responsibilities are. And schools that are meant to provide this form of education, they don't give you that.
You're right, but the same young person knows when to get a Peruvian wig and how to get a Gucci bag.
But that's the information out there.
No, that's not information out there. The young person has disconnected himself because systematically the system makes you be disinterested in nation. Now, because you know, young people know So but they just choose to watch the comedy and all of those things online rather than to follow politics and understand. So it's actually a lazy way of escaping.
Right.
Okay. So
reality.
those of us that are not lazy.
No.
Hold on.
Young people are not lazy.
So,
let's get that into perspective.
So,
you know, it's the act of not engaging
It
with
choose not
that
to
political
engage.
system.
Debola,
yes.
you have stayed with these your friends. That's my issue with you. Look, there's the not too young to run bill, and we're now still searching. So who's going to use the bill? What are you going for? What's your political ambition? Let's just know we're following you. Just tell us now. A few minutes to go.
So I am not, because
why?
I haven't felt like, you know, it is. I'm not seeing the peculiar problem that I want to solve at the moment.
Okay.
I think that at the moment my role is more of an enabler at the moment. You know, and
who are you enabling? You not answer our question.
Well, you know, because I also run an organization.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, and so because I run a company that works in elections, you know,
So you can't be seen to
I
endorse
cannot,
someone.
you know, but I do know that there are credible people. You know, they're
See,
very credible people.
they are
At
accusing
least two
you.
people.
Two
you
people.
know.
Give me 2 names.
So, yes.
No, we know the obvious. You know President Buhari. This,
No. I'm not
Trump is
talking
about to give us a
about
name.
the
So give us 2
recycled
names you
politicians.
think.
No.
But he has mentioned the
I'm
3
not.
C's that
Just watch out.
Kingsley came to mention.
Exactly.
Are you working
He
with
said
him?
that.
Are you
Well,
working with him?
You see, there are several people.
So King Mogalu
There are
is one.
several people.
There's Faladro Toye.
Exactly.
Look, they are abusing Debola here.
Tell them what they're saying.
Kike Moronkeji says, sorry, Debola just talking the talk. Can you tell us how you are trying to find a candidate with the 3 C's? I feel it's just another complicated sounding phrase to confuse people. Keep it simple. Are you promoting COP or APC?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not even sure if the same recycled politicians are the ones we are looking for the 3 C's. I'm not sure. So, what's her name?
Kike.
Kike, when I say the 3 C's, I think that there are quite a number of new candidates who portray competence. If you check their curriculum vitae, who've worked in global capacity, who've built something, you know, who you can see what they have done. There are people who have character, who if you check on them, you will not find any argument if they stole, if they did not steal, if they lied, if they did not let the false certificate,
So
you will find
what
those.
young people can
and
do
people have
differently, Debola,
capacity
this
in
time,
managing.
what young people can
you
do
know.
differently is that let's take away our eyes from the old, focus on the new, look for the 3 C's, and totally block out what you've already known. And see if you can, because we need a radical change.
I would say.
If we want to move this country forward,
Yes.
somebody must shut down and say, you know what, we are looking for change.
I would
Not
say,
Debola's change,
I would say that, you know, young people should look out for a new class of people.
True.
You know, who display these 3 C's.
Okay, let me just quickly cut you in there.
And
because we
you know,
always
this
have
Jumoke was a part of the same change, and now denying on television.
Sorry,
I also show the DM. You know, when you say, you know, not Debola's change, what I would like to say is that every man must at every point in their lives stand up for something they believe in.
Right.
And so what I find is that people attack and curse on social media, but they're actually not doing anything to change the situation. You do not have the credibility or moral compass
We have to run up, so let me
point
let Mariam jump
fingers
in here.
if you don't do anything.
You know, I was just going to ask, these new people, do they even have a chance? Because it's
So
about old
first
people,
of all,
old money and things like that.
no,
Do
they have a chance.
Okay.
They have a chance, you know, they have a chance because they are more human beings. I mean, if you had 73 million people were eligible to vote last year and only 30 million people voted, there are 43 million votes hanging somewhere that could have gone to Remi Kowa last year or go to a Kingsley Mogalu this year or anybody else.
So, Debola, you're saying
So I'm saying that the people are the ones who would make that decision, and people must realize that the reason why this government, you know, across cycles, do not take you seriously and do not do things to please you is because they don't feel you voted for them. If the people rise up in anger behind someone based on their conviction, that person will be accountable to them because he knows that the people put him in. And the people must make independents feel confident to come out. If the independents keep feeling that the people will not put their money where their mouth is, they also are not encouraged to come out.
Wow.
So stop attacking Debola or anybody. You get up and follow your conviction.
Fantastic. All right, let's answer with
We need to give you...
Okay.
K. Daniel says, one thing the Nigerian people really need is awareness. The young people need the right political awareness. Aduk says, without reforming political parties and our constitution, nothing good can come out. Case study, CAPC, for example.
We have to run up. I need you to just give us the last word for young people out there, especially towards 2019.
It's simple. Stop pointing fingers. Get up and do something. Print posters, print t-shirts, go door to door, galvanize behind the candidate. The current president had this quote-unquote 10 million block for 3 cycles. He did not become a president overnight. It took him 16 years. Stay behind someone, stay behind an ideology, which is the 3 C's, and continue to vote behind that 3 C's. You know, right. I voted for the current president in 2011. Before I worked for him in 2015. Right. So when people say that, you know, I worked for him just because I'm an entrepreneur, they get it wrong. Because I gave him my vote in 2011.
So hard work and consistency.
Thank you very much, Adebola. Unfortunately, it has run up.
It's fine. We'll do it again.
It was a great opportunity having you on the show. Thank you for the
donuts. The donuts, yes.
And all that. All right. So thanks. Tomorrow is our live audience show. Please come early so you can join the live audience show. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.